Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you today for an album review, and this is for Mnqn's self-titled album review. This is like a solo project from Dustin Bates from Starset, so I'm gonna discuss what I listen to mostly and let you know my thoughts on this solo project of his. So let's dive into this review. Now, he decided to Dustin Bates decided to go with this solo project for that he called Mnqn. I thought it was gonna be called Dustin Bates album or whatever, or self-titled album, but it's not a bad name for a solo project that he's going with. It's definitely electronic music in this album, and it's very mellow. It can be a little bothersome for the mellow pacing of these songs. The beginning of it starts off not too bad. Then when it gets into the second act of the album, like the middle of the album, it just starts to fall apart and sounds a little basic. Like almost the songs sound similar in certain ways. Like the electronic music just doesn't change with it. It just makes it seem a little boring and stale. Unfortunately, I have to say that because that's what I was getting from listening to this album. It just felt plain and boring somewhat. But not every song on here was that bad. There were songs that were pretty good and worked with the electronic music in this. It's just there were a couple songs on here that I wasn't a big fan of, and that was Animal Oddity, On My Mind, I Ghost, and Don't Get It. I Ghost is pretty catchy and it's not a bad song. I'm not dissing it for being a bad song. I'm just saying it just didn't exceed my expectations of being a great song. And that's unfortunate, but not every song on I'm gonna like, and not every song is gonna be perfect. And this project that he went for, he put a lot of dedication into it, but did it really do that good? It was good. It was just not that good. The electronic music in most of these songs just didn't work mostly. It just felt a little plain and boring at some areas of each song that I listened through. And it's kind of a little bothersome that I have to put out a review that I'm gonna say is kind of boring. And most people might think, oh, what are you talking about? This is a good project. It is. It's just not that good of a project that he went with. That he went for mostly. I did like Zombie because it brought a good sensational vibe to it, and I could feel for the melody, and Dustin's voice in it was coming off pretty strong, and during the chorus or whatever, it started to do really good, and then it just died down a little when he was singing, because the pacing of it was going really well until he hesitated for a moment, and it just lost the momentum. He just lost the momentum of putting out a good chorus. And that's unfortunate, but the song did really well, I think. And I gave that a 5 out of 5. During the third act of the album, it gets a little better when it starts to close the album. It starts to pick up a little more, but there are boring spots in each of these songs, mostly. Like almost every song on this album has some boring spots. But overall, this album didn't do so bad. Terminal was actually not too bad. The chorus, when he starts with it, the you da 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 da, it brings out a good sensational vibe to it. And I know I might be repeating myself for some things I'm saying, like sensational vibe, I said. It just feels like it does. And I can feel for this track a little bit. But Invincible, I felt for. It had some feeling to the track where you feel a little bit of sympathy for it. But yeah, overall, this album is good. I was hoping it'd be a really good album, but he wanted to go with electronic music, and I mostly expected a little bit of drum work in it because he's part of Starset and all that, and I'm used to hearing Starset songs with electronic and drum work and guitar work as well, but not with this project, unfortunately. So out of 10, I think I'm going to give Mnqn's new album a 8 out of 10. This is a good album. It's just, I might have to hear it again to see where my loyalties lie in this record and what I really feel for it, but that's mostly what I felt for it. There were just boring spots in almost each song, but the majority of these songs did really good, and a few of them didn't. So that's pretty much how I felt while listening to this record. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on Mnqn's self-titled album, if you've heard it, the solo project of Dustin Bates from Starset's new album, and let me know your thoughts on it, and comment below and let me know your thoughts on this record. And comment below and let me know what you thought of this review as well. Sorry if I'm saying comment below repeatedly. I just keep forgetting what to say. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I will be returning to you for the Madonna track review hopefully pretty soon. I gotta hear it again and see where my perspective on it, and then I'll be doing the review for it. And I'll return to you tonight for the throwback movie review. So thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video.